Welcome to your first program in C. Here we will learn how to print Hello World the console screen. So before we begin, here are some prerequisites that we require. I hope you're running Windows 7 or up because this tutorial is based on the Turbo C++ compiler which we'll be learning on Windows 10 and we require Turbo C++ next. So let's see how to download Turbo C++. Well, open your favorite Chrome browser or some other browser perhaps. Type in Turbo C++. Open the first link and just click on download. As simple as that. Alright, I'm not going to download it again because I have already downloaded it and have it pre-installed. So therefore after installing you will have an icon such as this on your desktop screen. Open it. Click on Start Turbo C++ and here's the window. So here are a few things that you should keep in mind while working with Turbo C++. Well, Turbo C++ is a very old compiler. As you can see, it was released in the year 1990 by Borland International. It does not follow ANSI standards. Some functions that we will see that we will use in our programs such as CLR, SCR or Getch may or may not work in newer IDEs such as CodeBlocks or Visual Studio. Well, for the time being, let us concentrate on Turbo C++ because this is a compiler that you're mostly going to be using in your school or college. So let's begin. Head over to File, click on New. You see that the file name has a CPP extension. CPP stands for C++. We don't want this. We want our file extension to be .c. So head over to File, click on Save, and change the file extension to C, and I'll name this as hworld. All right. So here's the program that I'll write, and after writing it, I'll explain what each line does in this program. All right. So let's begin. Include stdio.h int main void clr scr printf hello world getch return 0. Don't get too worried. This might seem a little bit overwhelming at first, but let's run this program. It'll all be clear after I explain what this program, what each line of this program does. Alright, so let's compile. See, there are 0 errors, and those who might be wondering what shortcut I just used, it was Alt plus C. I'll have in the description box a list of all the shortcuts, the commonly used shortcuts in Turbo C++, and do have a look at it. Alright, so Alt plus R and enter runs the program. As you can see, we have Hello World on the console. Yay, hippie. Alright, so let's see what each line does. Well, hash include stdioh. Hash include is a preprocessor directive. It tells the compiler to include the file stdioh before compiling our entire program. Now, what is a compiler? Compiler is a software which converts our source code into machine code. Machine code is a string of ones and zeros, while the source code is what we just wrote here. As you know that the computer only understands machine code and nothing else, so a compiler is required to convert our source code to machine code. So that's about it. And you might be wondering what stdioh is. Well, stdioh is a header file. It contains the definitions of all the functions that we've used. For example, CLR, SCR, printf, getch are all declared in this header file. Alright, now we come to int main void. This function is called the main function. Execution of any programs begins from main. The compiler invokes the not the compiler, actually the OS which runs the program invokes the main function, and there must be one instance of main function in every C program, and there cannot be multiple declarations of main functions. Int is basically the return type of this main function. We'll go over what a return type, what data type are in our next videos. Let's not bother ourselves with it. Well, the next line is CLR This is actually a function. Well, this clears the screen. You might be wondering, why did my text suddenly change its color? Well, and why did I precede my text with 2 forward slashes? Well, this is a comment line. Well, to be more precise, this is a single line comment. Comments are ignored by the compiler. They are used for documentation purposes. It is used to clearly dictate what purpose of the code is. Well, as you can see, this is a single line comment. We can also have multi-line comments. For example, anything written between this, for example, this program prints, well, it should be program. This program prints hello world on the console. Hello world on the console. Well, console is the black window that just appeared, which displays our text. So this is our console. Well, the next line is used for printing a sentence. All sentences must be within 2 double quotes, and and anything can be in between these double quotes, though there are some exceptions. We'll discuss that later. For the time being, the sentence that you want to print should be between the double quotes. Well, hello world isn't the only thing that you can print on the console. You can print, for example, my name is Ronojoy, so I'll print my name is Ronojoy. I'll save the code, and for saving we use the shortcut F2. I'll run it. It prints my name is Ronojoy. Well, and there's this getch. This getch function, this gets a character from the user, or from the keyboard more specifically. Now, why do we require this? Well, its purpose will be clear when we have absence of this method. For example, let me comment out this line. So as I have stated before, that compiler ignores the comments. So this getch function is no longer being called. So let's run this. What happened? What just happened? There was no output. Let's run it again. There was no output. So a getch, what it basically does is waits for an input from the user, and till the time it's waiting, it halts the processing of the program. When it has received a key press from the user, it follows the code that is written after it. Alright, so, and the last line, return. The return is keyword. Well, I'll discuss what keywords are, but just for the timing, return is a keyword which is used to return a value from a function. Now, we have all studied sine, cos, tan functions in our school level. So sine is a function which accepts a parameter, sine x, where x can be any number. So sine x, if I send 30 to sine, it will send me half. Similarly, if I send 45 to sine, it will send me the value of 1 over root 2. So functions return one value. That is the reason I have put this return statement here. This function returns 0. Zero in this case means exit success. We'll discuss what exit success is. Just for the time being, um, just follow it as a structure. Now, you have to, if you're a beginner to C, then it might be a little overwhelming for you, but this is a thing that you must do. Everything except this line and leaving out the comments is the basic structure of a C program. Preliminary programs such as addition, division, finding the average marks of 5 students, these programs can be written using this structure alone. For more complicated programs, we have to write some functions. We have to use those functions. That will come a little later. But for the time being, mug up the structure, and the structure would include everything except the printf statements and the comments. All right. So that ends our first lesson on C program, and thank you for listening. Goodbye.